You're listening to Offer Accepted, the show that is all about fostering careers in real estate and growing your real estate team. Your host is Vanessa Rosenblum. Vanessa is the president of a search firm called Pro REA Staffing, where they help real estate agents hire talented people so that they can grow their businesses. On this show, Vanessa interviews real estate industry professionals from real estate assistants to team leaders of mega teams to learn how they achieved their current level of success and what they're doing to rise to the next level in their career or business. Whether you are exploring a career in real estate or you currently run a large real estate team and you want to be better at recruiting, training, and managing your employees and agents, this is a show you'll want to follow, so don't forget to hit subscribe. All right, let's go to the show. Here's your host, Vanessa.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. Welcome to the podcast. Today, we are talking about a couple unique job descriptions within the real estate team structure with my guest, Joe Rock. We're going to talk about showing assistants and a position you probably haven't thought about, the WOW coordinator. But first, a little bit of a backstory, and I love that I've been in this business long enough that I'm able to tell the story. About 7 years ago, I placed a candidate named Eva Lin as an assistant with a lovely client in Pasadena, California. She was very successful in that role, and after a few years, she decided to go out on her own and become a realtor. So she and her husband, Joe Rock, both quit their jobs, and at the same time, they dove into building their real estate company, Lin Realty Group. Now things have come full circle, and Eva and Joe are back in my sphere as clients instead of candidates. So Joe and Eva have been in business for only 4 full years, and they are already ranked among the top 20 agents for all of Keller Williams. So impressive numbers for sure. And I think what sets this team apart is that from day one, they treated their business like a business. They approached launching their real estate company with a clear mission and a plan to back it up. Over the last couple of years, Pro REA Staffing has helped them place a few people with the team, and we're currently looking for a showing assistant. And this is one of those roles that is really up for interpretation. Several of my clients, especially in California, are experimenting with hiring showing assistants instead of going with a traditional commission-only buyer's agent. And they all seem to approach this role a little bit differently. And for that reason, I thought it would be interesting to have Joe on the podcast so we could talk about why he's looking for a showing assistant, how the role is structured on their team, and what he envisions for this person's growth. And we'll also talk about that WOW coordinator position. So Joe, thank you so much for joining me today.
Excited to talk to you.
Fantastic. So let's just start at the top. So what did you think when Eva came to you with the idea of joining forces to start a real estate team?
I thought she was crazy. I have family. I have family who's been in real estate, and I thought I knew what it was to be a real estate agent, and the idea of having a whole team involved in the process just seemed so bizarre to me. But I kind of quickly warmed up to the idea after we did some coaching conferences and things like that, and I saw. It was actually working for certain people. And having come from an environment where I worked heavily in teams, I could see how you could transfer that model into real estate. And so I started getting really excited about it.
Well, and what I think is so interesting about you guys is usually, one person starts and they're working on their own. And then once they hit a certain level, the other partner jumps in. But you guys just went full force right from the beginning. What was your thinking around that?
I always figured that we could go back to whatever, our previous steady careers that we've had before. Mm-hmm. So really just thinking through what's the upside and what's the downside, and just planning for that and realizing, you know what, there really isn't that much downside. Tim Ferriss, he does this great exercise about fear setting. And I think that's really helpful when you're thinking about making big changes like that.
Okay, so you have to talk about that. Talk about fear setting. I'm a huge Tim Ferriss fan. So what is that? How does that work?
Oh, I don't want to totally butcher it, but the basic idea is, a lot of people do goal setting, but he approaches it from a different angle, which is what stops people from actually moving forward on the life they want to create for themselves is maybe they have all of these different fears. And so just outlining what are my specific fears, what could possibly go wrong if I was to make this big jump, and how can I mitigate? And just really putting that down on paper and understanding, you know what, even if the absolute worst thing happens, it's not that bad. I can bounce back from it quickly. But what if what I have envisioned for myself actually, I can actually pull it off? How amazing is that going to be? And when you look at the upside versus the downside and you mitigate the risk and you see what your potential is, that can just really bring clarity and help you understand, like, there's really no reason not to give this a shot.
I love that. And it's so funny. I'm doing a Alexa flash briefing on a Tim Ferriss quote, so I have it in front of me. And he says, what we fear doing is usually what we need to do. And I love that. And it's so true. Like every day, what am I afraid of? Okay, that's what I need to tackle. So
yeah,
go for it, Tim. You're an inspiration. Okay, so talk about your background real quick. So you are not in real estate at all. What were you doing before you joined this crazy world of real estate?
Yeah, I am not. I have my real estate license, but I'm not a realtor. So I was working for a big financial services firm called KPMG. There's one of these big accounting firms, and doing a lot of consulting with big companies, tax consulting, things like that. So traveling around the country, working on teams to do these big tax consulting projects, essentially.
Fantastic. Okay. So then you guys decide to start this company, you quit your job, you show up, and then how do the two of you divide your roles? What does she do? What do you do on the team?
Yeah. So Eva is really amazing at working with clients and understanding what their needs are and putting together a strategy to help them get where they want to be on the tactical side. As far as being a real estate agent, she's great at knowing how to help somebody find and win a house that they are really interested in, or helping a seller to actually get that great price and that great result when they're selling their house. So she really performs those tactical duties, and then she's also doing the prospecting and not just servicing the clients, but helping to get in front of the clients in terms of setting appointments. My role from the beginning has always been more on the systems side and building the team, and I'm the one who basically goes to all the different conferences and figures out what kind of strategies should we be trying to implement, and what's the best approach for trying to bring on good team members, and how do we get them trained, and just everything that goes on kind of the behind the scenes, I would say.
Great. And who else is on the team right now?
So we have 3 other full-time team members. We have our WOW coordinator, who you mentioned, and I guess we can talk about a little bit, who you helped us find. We also have our director of client care, who you helped us find. And we have our team concierge. So 3 additional team members, and we also have a part-time assistant who kind of supports everybody.
Perfect. So which of those people handles your listing coordination and your transaction management?
Yes. So Carolyn, who is our director of client care, she handles the listing coordination. She interacts with the transaction coordinator that we have at our Keller Williams brokerage. Mm-hmm. So the TC function is outsourced essentially. Mm-hmm. But Carolyn is the one who is, you want to call her, part of her duties are listing coordination. She's that person.
Perfect. Okay. Excuse me. As you were setting up your business and envisioning how it would grow, did you guys read the Billionaire Real Estate Agent? Did you look at the KW model? And how closely are you following those KW systems?
Not very closely, not because I doubt their efficacy. That's not that at all. It's just that when we got started in the very first place, we were part of a different coaching program that has their own approach to building a team. So I imagine there's probably a lot of overlap, but we're not using the Red Book.
Got it. All right. So let's talk about the WOW coordinator. So just a little background. The first time that I reconnected with Joe and Eva was when Joe called me and he said, I have this position. It's a little different and I want you to hear me out. This is what I envision. And I'm going to call them a WOW coordinator. And I was so impressed. I was like, you're going to pay somebody full time to do that job? That sounds amazing. That's the best job ever. That sounds like such a rewarding opportunity for someone. So I'll let you describe it. What is a WOW coordinator?
Yeah, it's really cool. And I wish I could take credit for the idea, but one of our really amazing mentors, he kind of came up with the idea and he proved the concept, and we were totally inspired by it. So the idea is to, I guess I should take a step back, being, we made a shift in our business about what we really want to be about. We can see that we're having good traction. We apparently didn't make a terrible decision in quitting our jobs. We're able to make a living. So that's great. And now what? So we really decided that we wanted to differentiate ourselves through client care and customer service, and just providing a level of service that doesn't really exist in our market. At least we haven't seen it. So that's where the WOW coordinator role came in. We decided, let's do this. Let's actually hire somebody full-time on our team whose job is to surprise and delight our clients and craft an experience for them that they never would have imagined. So what she does a lot of things, but just kind of a typical day in the life is probably first thing she'll do is go onto Facebook in the morning. And she has this special list of all of our current and past clients where she's friends with them on Facebook, and she can see what's going on in everybody's lives, because people, of course, love to share on Facebook. So if somebody has mentioned, we are getting ready for our trip to Lake Tahoe or something, and they're posting about that, she'll put together a little care package for them with, sunscreen or just little cute, thoughtful things. And she'll just surprise them with it. Hey, we saw you're going to vacation. We hope this helps you have a better time. And people are totally blown away that their real estate team or real estate agent from a year and a half ago is still taking interest in them and their happiness, and just wanting to maintain that relationship on a level that most people wouldn't anticipate. And there's a million other examples. Someone's getting a job promotion, it's someone's birthday or anniversary. Her job is to make sure that we're helping them celebrate that occasion. So that's one thing that she'll do. The other types of stuff is she's been starting to do a lot of client appreciation events and community events and things like that, where we're trying to incorporate our current and past clients into fun, high-end events where they can just celebrate life and things like that. Closing celebrations, she'll put together like this whole beautiful balloons and cupcakes and champagne and a key box with a bow on it, when somebody is actually doing the key exchange, rather than just having that maybe, more traditional key exchange isn't, it's like, oh, hey, congrats, you got your house. She puts together this whole over the top kind of celebration for people. So she keeps busy doing all kinds of things like that.
Truly sounds like the most fun job ever. I'm jealous I never got to have that job when I was earlier in my career. And so that role has also expanded into also having a concierge. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So you guys did a really awesome job of helping us find the perfect person for this role, because it's truly her passion. And she actually came to me with this idea of actually having a concierge program within our team so that we can not just surprise and delight clients, but actually help make their lives easier. And she recruited one of her former colleagues who she thought was just a rock star. And she recruited him to our team. That way she would have the manpower needed to actually pull this off. So for our clients, what they're doing and what we've offered to them is this concierge package where they will do things like if our clients are going out of town for vacation, for instance, and they need someone to take care of their pets, or make sure the cat has water and food, and take the trash cans out. We'll do that. Just there's no charge associated with it. It's, hey, you're our past client. We really like and appreciate you, and we want to show you that we're here for you. And so they'll do that kind of a thing. Or Carlene, she's our WOW coordinator. She does a lot of gift deliveries. So we've extended that to our clients. Hey, is it going to be your mom's birthday coming up, and you want to send her flowers? Just call us, call our concierge team, and we'll coordinate the whole thing. Just tell us what your budget is, tell us what you want the card to say, and we'll take it from there. Things like that. Also, even things that are happening during the transaction process. So one of the huge headaches that people have is, okay, they've bought their new home. They've got a million things going on with moving and packing. What our WOW coordinator and our concierge team will do is set up all their new utilities for them. So she's just constantly coming up with ideas of ways that we can provide truly that next level of service to take stress out of the home buying process, and then just stay in touch with people and offer them things of value throughout the entire life cycle of our relationship, which we hope will last many, many years.
It's just incredible. And as I'm listening to you, though, I'm thinking, man, that sounds expensive. 2 full-time people and all of this other stuff. Have you, I mean, I know you don't, it's not about the money, it's about the value you're providing. But I mean, at the end of the day, do you know what your ROI is on that investment?
That's a great question. No, I don't know my ROI. I don't track it. I suppose it can sound like a lot of money, and yeah, to be fair, we are doing a fair amount of volume. So we know we have the budget for this type of a role, and we're in this for the long haul. But I think, given our market, and if you can differentiate yourself and show people that you really care about them, and that leads to maybe 2 clients in a year who refer you to their friends or family who otherwise would have been like, oh yeah, my real estate experience was fine. I got a decent level of client care. I was fine, but I'm not really going to go out and tell people about it, versus, oh my God, like these people are so passionate about providing an incredible experience for me. I'm going to tell people. I'm definitely going to tell people. I mean, if you get a couple of more clients per year because of that, then the ROI takes care of itself. But I'm not tracking that kind of thing. I guess what I can say is this year, I do track where our closings come from, and we've had far more closings this year from past clients and referrals than in any previous year. And our WOW coordinator has been with us now for a little bit over a year. So I suppose by that metric, people seem to be responding well to being treated so well, but that only makes sense, right?
Right, exactly. Well, I think it's amazing. And I think it speaks a lot to the culture on your team. I mean, that's a really big part of your culture. And I know that that's something we've talked about, how you guys have value statements that you're getting everybody to memorize. And so let's talk about that. So what's the culture like on your team first? And then I want to talk about your values.
That's a great question. I think it'd be better to direct that to one of the team members, I suppose, but I'll try and put words in their mouth. I think first of all, it's a high performance environment. We do really pride ourselves on having fun and providing great experience for our clients. But part of that is actually on our end, we have to deliver. And we have to be meticulous about all of our systems and processes, and we have to hold each other accountable. So it's a fun environment where we get to do fun things for our clients, and it all starts with our team. So all the way that we try and show appreciation for our clients, really it starts within our team. So our team gets the benefit of that too. But also there is that expectation that, hey, we're all looking to perform at a high level here and grow here, and we're not trying to be stagnant. We're always looking to the future for future growth.
That's great. And what else are you doing to reinforce your culture, vision, and values on your team?
Sure. So what we're memorizing our vision statement. So that's something that I've been really trying to focus on, because all of the different, podcasts and mentorship things that I'm involved with, it's just a constant theme, right? Making sure that as a leader, your job is to make sure that your team knows what's the vision, what are we striving for, where do we see this team going in the future. So we have this vision statement that I won't go through the whole thing with you because it's a bit long, and maybe I'm breaking one of the rules of a vision statement, but that's what we're memorizing, and that's pretty. It's a good challenge for the team to memorize it. I know they understand it. They understand where we're trying to go. But like you said, if I was to say, hey, Carlene, what's our vision statement? I know she couldn't say it, and I couldn't say it either. So that's why we're memorizing it.
I love
but
it.
our values, everyone does know, and we made it short and sweet. We have 3 values on the team. One is extreme ownership. That goes to what I was mentioning about we really do need to perform. We're growing every year. The way that we operate is different than the year before, and the only way that we can continue to grow our team is if we all look to ourselves for all the different things that we have going on. Everyone needs to take responsibility for executing. So extreme ownership is a big one. Our second value is value creation. As I mentioned, we're trying to position ourselves in such a way that we are known for providing more value than others in our marketplace. So I'm constantly asking the team, what are your new ideas for how can we improve the level of service that we provide? How can we improve the way we operate internally? Things like that. Just how are we going to add more value than we are now, and how are we going to operate more efficiently and effectively? So it's adding value to one another within the team and also to our clients. And then the third value is unrelenting growth. We're all about trying to increase the impact that we have in our community, because we do believe that we provide something that's special. And we know that the only way for us to achieve that big vision is if we're all growing. And we place a lot of focus on everybody being better than they were, a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. Everyone has to be growing. So we do have that grow or go mentality. And a lot of people that wouldn't respond well to that, but I think we've kind of become a self-selecting group where if somebody is not showing that particular value, they just wouldn't really fit in on the team.
Mm-hmm. There's so many things that I love about this. One of them is when every single time we work with a client who is unclear about their vision, their values, and their culture, like their why, they have a really hard time, or we have a really hard time attracting people to that job. The more crystal clear my clients are about these things, the more that they can articulate them and speak to them, it almost like creates a magnet. And people who, like you said, will self-select because they want to be part of that. I mean, it's so important to do this work. And unfortunately, too many people don't slow down and do this work before they start to hire. And then that kind of creates this hamster wheel. And the people who stick on your team perform really well. And you're right, the ones who, don't adhere to those values or don't live up to those values, that's clear pretty quickly and they go. So that brings me to your showing assistant role, which is now open. Can you describe how that role came about? Like, why are you looking for a showing assistant instead of a buyer's agent?
So our team, we do have our own unique way of doing things, our own way of looking at client service, and we do hold ourselves to a really high standard and also our own unique standard. So it presents some challenges with trying to hire a buyer's agent who has been in the industry for years, and they kind of have their own way of doing things. Maybe they've been coached or mentored by somebody else. So it just presents some challenges. The idea of hiring a showing assistant as opposed to a buyer's agent is, one, we would like to find somebody who is a little bit early in their career. That way we can help ingrain in them our particular way of doing things. Not to say that our way is like the right way or the best way. It's just what's working for us and what gets us excited. So we want to bring somebody on board who can also adopt it and appreciate it, and is maybe already predisposed to our way of thinking, as opposed to trying to back out some previous habits or things like that. Also, the buyer's agent role traditionally, I think, is very commission driven, and it's not super integrated. What I mean is, a buyer's agent, in my mind at least, is usually kind of like a hired gun, like kind of a mercenary, where you join a team and there's kind of this trade-off where, okay, the team kicks down some leads and kicks down some open house opportunities and things like that, and the buyer agent takes them and runs with them and then kicks back a commission split, and it's fairly transactional, which is fine. That model clearly has worked well for many, many, many people. But what we're about is really having that cohesive team where we are all working towards the same goal, and that goal is to provide the highest level of care for our clients. So we would rather have a showing assistant who is not really tied to closing. Got to get the closing. I don't get paid unless I get this closed. We want it to more so be a mentality of, I just want to provide the best level of care that I can to clients, and then the team will benefit and everyone will benefit. And it's a much more team-centric approach than the traditional buyer's agent role, I think.
I think that was very well said. And I think especially in California, with some of the major changes to the way independent contractors are, like the test that you have to meet in order to pay someone as an independent contractor, more and more teams are just deciding it's not worth the exposure or the lack of control to have buyer's agents on their team who are, paid just on commission. And more teams are looking at, how do we structure this so that I have control? I can make them show up to the office meetings. I can make them do things the way I want them. I can have them do some administrative work and have them service my buyer clients. And so that's why I think we're seeing this huge range of interpretations of this role. But so let's talk about what a day in the life for a showing assistant is like on your team.
Sure. I think it's actually probably quite similar to the role that you hired Eva, my wife, into all those years back, which I guess wasn't too many years back, where essentially, so Eva needs that person that she was. She needs that person who is sharp and ready to learn and motivated and just wants to do a great job, that she can delegate tasks to. So, assisting with showings. We're talking about a showing assistant, so that's going to be a big part of it. But being able to learn how to do so with a high level of competence, and really just learning from Eva and the way that she operates. So part of it is just tactically, yes, a day in the life would be helping buyers look at properties, but beyond, and hosting open houses on the weekends and attending inspections, things like that for sure. But what our goal really is to bring somebody on who wants to learn how to operate at a much higher level than that, and who wants to actually grow into being an agent on our team. And what that would mean is just really being Eva's go-to person for support. If Eva can't do something that's client related, then our buyer's agent, or who would originally be a showing assistant, would be able to jump in, and then hopefully they'd be able to grow into the role where they're just operating with a high degree of autonomy, knowing that, hey, we have a new client coming in, and we can have Eva meet with them, or we can have this person meet with them. And we know that they are trained in our particular way of doing things and providing that same level of care that Eva would provide, because Eva's invested tons and tons of time into training them and having them come attend meetings with her and shadow her. So that's really the trajectory that we see for the role. But at the outset, it would be a more traditional assisting with showings, assisting with open houses, sitting in on all of our team meetings, truly being a part of the team, but just helping with those particular areas of the job that Eva could use a lot of support in.
You are really good at coming up with dream jobs. I mean, I think this is another one for somebody who wants to learn how to be an agent, doesn't have the funds or the skills to just go out on their own. I mean, it really is a fantastic opportunity. All right, so what qualities are you looking for in a showing assistant?
Yeah, we're looking for somebody who really first and foremost has that servant part. I think the way that we've established our team is we're all about client service. So we're really looking for somebody who has that passion for just going above and beyond, really delighting our clients, and they lead with that, as opposed to, somebody who is maybe more motivated by the commission check or the thrill of the chase. That's not really the mentality that works on our team. Of course, it is important that we can help our clients get that result that they want, but we want somebody who leads with their passion for helping people rather than just helping themselves. I think that's the most important. Also, we're super focused on growth. So we have this dynamic in our team where every month we are reading a book together and we talk about it. And every morning our team gets together and watches this daily kind of like not necessarily a motivational clip, but something to just help everyone start the day off the right way. So our team dynamics are a bit unique in that sense, and I know a lot of people probably would just get maybe weirded out by that, or they're not interested in that kind of focus on growth. So we do need somebody who is really wanting to increase their skill set and improve themselves and grow as a person and grow with our team. So that's really important too. Also, somebody who just likes to be part of the team. I mean, we have a close-knit team here, and we're on an exciting journey together. And we do get together for team meetings several times per week and each other. So it's also very different in that regard, as opposed to just kind of being a hired gun. And maybe the last thing that I would mention is we do work with a broad range of clients. But our typical client is fairly affluent, doctors, lawyers, business owners. So we do need somebody who has a certain degree of polish and feels comfortable and confident to represent themselves well and represent our team well. And they really do have to have that high level of EQ to be in tune with a very broad range of personality types and different needs. So it's a pretty strong candidate that we're looking for when you consider all these things in whole.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like you've really put a lot of thought into who is going to be a good fit on your team. And I think that's really important so that when that person shows up, you recognize them. You mentioned something that I really want to dig into. You mentioned that you read a book together, and more of the top teams I talk to talk about their book club. And we do this on our team, and it's been incredible for us. What are some of the books you guys have read? What would you recommend other teams maybe start with if they're going to implement a book club?
Sure. Well, so, one of our core values is extreme ownership. So I've got to mention extreme ownership. I think that's kind of out there in the world right now. A lot of people have heard of it. And our team has really, really responded well to that book. And whenever we have a new person jump on the team, if it's a kind of an intern or a part-time assistant, we always incorporate them in our book club, but we always have them start with extreme ownership because that kind of sets the tone and the foundation for the way we interact with each other. I think another great one is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. So that's who we watch, the Darren Hardy video every morning. He's also out there in the world right now. I think a lot of people in real estate maybe have heard of him. But his book, The Compound Effect, is a great intro into just this world of trying to improve yourself and reach your goals, which is can be a bit foreign to some, I think, but that's a great intro. And right now we're reading Lynchpin, which I think is super appropriate given the conversation we're having right now, Vanessa, just about how to adapt to this new world that we're living in and make yourself indispensable and change that paradigm of being a cog in the corporate wheel to actually being somebody who provides a super, super high level of value. Yeah.
Perfect. I don't know that this was an issue for your team, but on other teams for this position, the hours have really been a problem. People come into it not being used to working kind of whenever, right? Weekends, nights, as needed. What kind of hours does this person work on your team? What kind of boundaries are set around their working hours?
Yeah, that's another great question. So the hours are actually not that bad. Maybe relative to what you just described. Certainly, the weekend is part of the work week for this role. That's where we need more support than in any other area. We have a lot of listings. We have a lot of open houses. And there's just Eva, and we have other people on the team who can help out. But certainly we need assistance on the weekends. So that would mean maybe 9 to 6 on Saturday and Sunday. And sometimes there isn't anything going on after the open house is finished at 4:15. So that would mean an early day potentially, but definitely having that on-call availability from 9 to 6 on the weekends, that's critical. During the week, we have team meetings on Mondays and Fridays, so those would also be working days. And we do the broker caravan is on Thursday, so that's a great opportunity for the person in the showing assistant role to go out looking at properties with Eva, so that way she can start sharing, what is she looking at when she's looking at these homes? What's she taking note of? Why would it be important for buyers? So basically all those days are important days that we need somebody to be available from 9 to 6. And Tuesday and Wednesday would be the days off during the week. Sometimes, yes, sometimes there will be showings that are happening after 6 p.m., but that's rare. It's not a brutal schedule. We're pretty mindful of making sure that our team members do have that separation between work time and time off. So that would also be the case for this role.
So that's really interesting. So 6 p.m. is the end of the day for you guys. Some teams seem to do that really well. And it's just sort of course, we work from 9 to 6. And unless there's an emergency, we're not talking to clients all night long. And then other clients, it seems like they're literally on a 24/7 roller coaster. How does that work on your team, and what are your clients' expectations, or what kind of expectations do you set with your clients so that you can have a life outside of work too? How does that work for your team?
Yeah. So I guess when I'm talking about our team, I'm excluding Eva and myself from that equation.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, certainly if clients are in need of a response, then they'll be getting a response from us after 6 p.m. But we try and make sure that our team members are on off time, and they understand that, you know, the expectation is not that they are responding to client emails. At this point, we take care of that. So certainly we aspire to find a better solution down the line, because we do have a newborn and we want to have another child. So we will have to come up with a better solution. But as of right now, we're the ones who take care of that.
Got it. Okay. So let's talk about your vision. I know you don't have to go through your whole vision statement, but where do you guys want to be in 5 years? How big do you want to grow your team?
Yeah, that's something that we've thought a lot about, and it's something that has evolved over time. But right now, I would say we have a really clear vision of what we're trying to achieve, and it's really exciting to us. And they say you should have a big vision, and we certainly do. We are really trying to change the way that real estate services are offered in our marketplace, which we'll call Pasadena right now. The things are changing so quickly, and commissions are going down. There's all these discount brokerages coming in. But what we want to do is provide a level of client care that's so high and so over the top, and provide an overall level of value that's just undeniable, to the extent that people recognize and realize that there is tremendous value in working with our team over and above what they can find anywhere else. And that's not just on the client service side, which is super, super important to this vision, but also on actually delivering exceptional results, meaning helping people to actually get their homes sold for the highest price in the best time, if that is in fact what they're looking for, and helping them win a home that they wouldn't otherwise win if they're on the home buying side. So we really do pride ourselves on having fantastic performance statistics that show how great of a job that we do in that compared to our local market average. So it's really that two-pronged approach to just creating this real estate team that is fantastic on both sides of the equation, to the extent that our competitors really do have to level up. And when we help a client and they're telling their friends about how all the super thoughtful things that we did for them, and how we anticipated their needs, and how we were able to just provide this magical experience for them on both the client service side, and actually helping them get what they wanted and even exceed their expectations, that their friends and family are like, oh my God, I didn't know that a realtor or a real estate agent like team even did such a thing. We want to create that kind of effect to the extent that we are the dominant team in our marketplace. And then we want to pick another marketplace, probably the beach area, because who doesn't like the beach? So what that would mean is we need to build a super, super strong team here in Pasadena that can continue carrying out this vision while we try and set up another foothold in another area, and again, make a massive impact in that market and in the home buyers and home sellers over in that market. So that's what we're excited about, and that's why it's so important that we can find these absolute rock stars who are inspired by that kind of vision and do want to provide the absolute best level of care to our clients, and can help us achieve that vision and grow in the process. I mean, the only way that we're going to be able to do that is to actually get better. And that means I need to get better, Eva needs to get better, everyone on our team needs to get better, and we need to really grow into this vision.
Fantastic. I love it. You're on a mission with a clear vision. And those are the first two steps. That's fantastic. All right, listeners, if you're interested in joining Joe Rock and Eva's team, check out the show notes. The link to their showing assistant job ad is in the show notes. You can apply there, and we'll reach out to you to discuss the opportunity. All right, Joe, thank you so much. It was great to talk with you, and thank you for giving us some insight into the way you guys structure your team and how you approach providing outstanding service to your clients. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Thanks.
for listening to Offer Accepted, the podcast for fostering careers in real estate and growing a successful real estate team. If you like what you heard today, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review. You can also check us out on YouTube. Search Pro REA Staffing and you'll find this and a ton more content all around hiring and managing your growing real estate team and launching your career in real estate. We'll see you in the next episode.